Oh, Cosmic Mind UV. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. Cosmic Mind UV. We're gonna knock this show out. Probably knock another show out today. Hope all is well. This is about global warming, abundance, peace and abundance, all that great stuff. Whenever you see this, make sure you share, subscribe, all that great stuff. Give your comments, all that great stuff. And yeah. Let's see. All right. All right. Let me get my setup real quick. All right, here we go. Global warming. Refers to, hold on. All right, here we go. Global warming refers to the long-term increase in Earth's average surface temperature due to human activities, primarily the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. This process releases greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, CO2, methane, CH4 into the atmosphere, trapping heat and causing the planet to warm. Key effects of global warming: rising temperatures, increased heat waves and record-breaking temperatures, melting ice caps and rising sea levels, polar ice sheets and glaciers are melting, contributing to higher sea levels. All right, and that's some cause and effect and some trickle down for you right there. Extreme weather, more frequent and intense hurricanes, droughts, and wildfires, other than the ones they ain't set, but yeah, and wildfires. All right, so doing more green transportation and basically doing an overhaul on pretty much all the vehicles, to more cleaner emission vehicles and different things of that nature. I know a lot of people are going to electric. However, we're gonna do some a show on the electric vehicles, the pros and cons of those, and they should have been done away with like gas and oil and all of these different sort of kind of obsolete liquids to put in the vehicles and different things of that nature. Like they should have been done away with that. However, it's definitely affects more than what we think. Disruption of ecosystems. Many animal and plant species struggle to adapt, leading to biodiversity loss. Impact on human life. Threats to agriculture, water supply, and increased health risks. Causes of global warming. Burning fossil fuels, coal, oil, natural gases, and most vehicles have oil and the gas in it, most of them. You know what I'm saying? So if do the numbers on hundreds of thousands or whatever, millions or whatever vehicles just moving around constantly. Yeah, all day, for the most part, until, maybe the wee hours of night and things of that nature. It says burning fossil fuels, coal, oil. It says natural gas for energy and transportation. So this is why, I'm saying, we should be going to more advancements in cleaner, air, agriculture, different, the whole transportation system, those big ass, a lot of places still have these, kind of like when I did the China show, when I was showing you how they overhauled their transportation system, the buses and all that stuff. These, over here, most, over in different states or whatever locations, they have, these same old obsolete, buses, blowing out a lot of smoke and emissions and different things of that nature. And we didn't even get into the 18-wheelers and all of that. You see what I'm saying? And then the factories and all that. But yeah. Let's see. Deforestation reduces trees and absorb H2O. Reduces trees that absorb H2O. This is causes of global warming. Industrial processes release pollutants and greenhouse gases. Also, I gotta do something on about the meats and stuff. How they let off a lot of gases and things into the atmosphere, like food waste and things of that nature. So when you combine all of that, agriculture produces methane and from livestock and fertilizers. Solutions to combat global warming: switching to renewable energy sources, solar, wind, hydro, in parentheses, reducing carbon emissions through energy efficiency and transportation changes, reforestation, and protecting natural ecosystems, sustainable farming practices, international agreements like the Paris Agreement. So y'all go look that up, the Paris Agreement, whenever, if you feel interested in that, to limit global temperature rise. Okay, overview of global warming, causes, effects, and solutions. Again, global warming is the long-term rise in Earth's average temperature, mainly caused by human activities. It disrupts ecosystems, intensifies extreme weather, and threatens global stability. All right. So we're going to go over some of the causes, effects, and solutions. All right. Causes of global warming. It's driven by a greenhouse effect, which gases trap heat in the Earth's atmosphere. The main contributors are human activities, burning fossil fuels, again, coal, oil, and natural gases. It releases CO2 when burned for electricity, transportation, and industry. Again, deforestation. Fewer trees mean less CO2 absorption. All right. Industrial processes. Factories emit heat-trapping pollutants. Natural contributors. Minor impact. Volcanic eruptions release CO2 but have temporary cooling effects due to ash. Solar vulnerability. Changes in the sun's energy, but these are not in the main are not the main causes of current warming. Effects of global warming, some more. The consequences of rising temperatures affects ecosystems, weather patterns, and human life. Also, with all of the, other stuff that goes on, the cloud seeding and, chemtrails and all that shit. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a part 2 on how all of those elements affect global warming also. So, climate and environmental impact. Let me see. Hold on, let me see. Extreme weather, more intense hurricanes, droughts, heat waves, and wildfires. Let me see. Okay. Encourage laws for clean energy and penalizing pollution. Corporate and individual responsibility. Businesses adapting to sustainable practices and individuals reducing waste. Conclusion: global warming is a major challenge, but solutions exist. By transitioning to cleaner energy, protecting natural ecosystems, and making sustainable choices, humanity can slow and possibly reverse climate change. Deep dive into solutions, renewable energy, and policy actions. To combat global warming effectively, both technical advancements and government policies must work together. Renewable energy, the key to a sustainable future. Types of renewable energy sources. These energy sources reduce reliance on fossil fuels, cutting greenhouse gas emissions. Number 1, solar power. Capture sunlight using photo PV panels to generate electricity. Can be used in homes, businesses, and large-scale solar farms. Prices have dropped significantly, making it more accessible. Wind energy uses wind turbines to generate electricity. Offshore and onshore wind farms are growing worldwide. Highly effective, but location dependent. Hydropower, parentheses, water energy, generates electricity from flowing water, parentheses, dams, rivers, waves, etc. Tidal waves, etc. Reliable, but can impact aquatic ecosystem. Geothermal energy uses heat from beneath the Earth's surface to reduce energy. Produces constant power, unlike solar and wind. Requires specific geographic locations with geothermal activity. Biomass and bioenergy converts organic materials such as wood and agricultural waste into fuel. Can be carbon neutral if managed properly. Benefits of renewable energy. Reduces carbon emissions, no harmful greenhouse gases, energy independence, less reliance on imported fossil fuels, job creation, expanding clean energy industries worldwide, sustainability. Unlike coal and oil, renewables don't deplete. Unlike coal and oil, renewables don't deplete. Changes and solutions. Weather dependencies, solutions, battery storage, and smart grids. High essential costs, solution, government subsidies and incentives. Land and infrastructure needs, solutions, offshore wind and urban solar solutions. Policy actions driving global change. International agreements and climate treaties. Number one, the Paris Agreement, that was in 2015. Global pact to limit temperature rise 2 degrees Celsius, preferably 1.5 degrees Celsius. Countries set carbon reduction targets at net zero by 2050 for many nations. US, Europe, China, and other nations have committed to emissions cuts. Kyoto, Kyoto, Kyoto Protocol, 1997. Predecessor to the Paris Agreement, required industrialized nations to reduce emissions. COP, Conference of Parties, summits, annual meetings where world leaders discuss climate progress and policies. Let me get something, a little sip real quick. All right, B, government regulations and carbon pricing. Carbon taxes. Companies pay fees based on their CO2 emissions. Encourages businesses. So carbon taxes encourages businesses to adapt cleaner technology. Cap and trade systems. Government set a cap on emissions and allow companies to trade unused allowances. Creates financial incentives to reduce pollution. Subsidies and incentives for clean energy. Tax credits for homeowners installing solar panels. So if you got a home or whatever you're doing, that type of thing, that's a tax credit. Grants for wind and solar power projects. So if you're doing land, they got grants for that. Or you're doing land projects or whatever have you, or build or get land or whatever. They have grants for wind and solar power projects. Emission standards and bans. Phasing out coal plants and gas powered vehicles. So that's why I was saying they're going to have to get rid of pretty much the majority of all the vehicles and shit. Strict regulations on industrial pollution. Corporate and individual actions. Sustainable business practices. Companies reducing waste and carbon footprint. Green infrastructure. Cities investing in energy efficient buildings and transit. Public awareness and education, encouraging eco-friendly customer choices. Conclusion, a combined approach is key. Fighting global warming requires both technological advances in renewable energy and strong policies at the international and national levels. Governments must regulate emissions while businesses and individuals transition to cleaner, more sustainable practices. Countries worldwide are implementing various strategies to combat global warming, focusing on reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to renewable energy, and enhancing international cooperation. Leading countries in climate action. Denmark. Climate policies. Denmark is recognized for its robust climate policies, receiving high ratings in both national and international areas. Renewable energy. The country has made significant investments in wind energy, aiming to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. Sweden. Climate policies. Sweden has developed comprehensive frameworks and laws to mitigate and adapt to climate change, positioning itself as a leader in climate action. Renewable energy. The nation heavily invests in hydroelectric power and aims to eliminate green gas emissions by 2045. Chile. Climate policies. Chile is recognized for its proactive climate policies, focusing on renewable energy and emissions reductions. Renewable energy. The country has become a leader in solar energy in Latin America and aims for carbon neutrality by 2050. Morocco. Climate policies. Morocco has implemented effective climate policies, earning it a place among the top countries leading in climate action. Renewable energy. Home to one of the world's largest solar farms, Morocco aims to generate over 50% of its electricity from renewable sources by 2030. They not bullshit. They saying we ain't gonna be taking all day. We want to go ahead and get this shit done. India. Climate policies. India has acknowledged for its efforts to climate action, focusing on renewable energy expansion and emission reductions. Renewable energy. The country has set ambitious targets to increase its renewable energy capacity, particularly in solar and wind power. International agreements and cooperation. Paris Agreement, adopted in 2015, this legally binding international treaty aims to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius, preferably 1.5 degrees Celsius. As of now, 196 parties have committed to national plans, parentheses, NDCS, in parentheses, to reduce emissions. Bilateral cooperations. The UK has initiated a new strategy to cooperate with China on green technology and emissions reductions, highlighting the importance of international partnership in addressing climate change. That's latest news and breaking headlines. Climate policy performance. Climate Change Performance Index, CCPI. This tool independently monitors and compares countries' climate protection performance. Recent assessments highlight Denmark, Morocco, the Netherlands, India as leaders in climate policy. This is on Climate Change Index. Climate Action Tracker. This independent science project evaluates government actions against the Paris Agreement goals. Countries like Europe, UK, Norway are rated as insufficient, quote unquote, indicating the need for enhanced efforts to meet climate targets. Challenges and criticisms. Challenges and criticisms. Policy gaps. Despite programs, many countries still face challenges in fully aiming their policies with the Paris Agreement targets. Continuous efforts are required to bridge these gaps. Fossil fuel dependency. Some nations continue to rely heavily on fossil fuels, hindering global emission reduction efforts. Transitioning to renewable energy remains a critical challenge. In summary, while numerous countries are making significant strides in combating global warming through robust policies and international cooperation, ongoing efforts and enhanced commitments are essential to meet global climate goals. The United States has made notable strides in addressing global warming, yet it faces significant challenges to meet international global goals. Recent progress. Rejoining the Paris Agreement. In February 2021, the U.S. officially rejoined the Paris Agreement, reaffirming its commitment to global climate efforts. Updated emissions reduction targets. The Biden administration has set ambitious goals to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions by 61 to 66%. I'll get the updated stuff, you know what I'm saying, on the part 2. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get updated stats on part 2. Levels by 2035. So we'll get some updated stuff on that as well. And that'll be for the emissions reduction targets. Challenges and areas for improvement. Historical emissions. The U.S. remains the largest cumulative CO2 emitter since 1850, contributing approximately 20.3% of global emissions. God damn, that's on Carbon Brief. Current emissions. As of recent data, the U.S. is among the top 3 greenhouse gas emitters globally, alongside China and India, collectively accounting for 42.6% of total emissions. World Resources Institute. Policy emission. The Climate Action Tracker assesses that the U.S. needs to enhance its nationally determined contributions, NDC, to align with the 1.5 degrees Celsius warming limit, recommending a 62 to 65% reduction below 2025 levels by 2005 levels by 2030. Comparative performance. Climate Change Performance Index, CCPI. The U.S. has historically lagged in climate protection rankings. In the latest CCPI, Denmark leads, while the U.S. shows room for improvement. Climate Change Index. That's what the references are. Subnational incentives. U.S. Climate Alliance. In response to federal policy shifts, 24 U.S. states have committed to the Paris Agreement goals, aiming for a 50 to 52% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. Good job. Compared to 2005 levels. U.S. Climate Alliance. That's the reference. In summary, while the United States has renewed its commitment to combating global warming through updated policies and targets. Achieving these goals requires accelerated efforts and broader implementation across all levels of government and industry. I think this is the last one that we wrapping up. Effects of global warming on animals. Global warming is drastically impacting animal species worldwide by altering their habitats, food availability, migration patterns, and several rates. And survival rates. Okay. Below are major ways climate change affects animals: habitat loss and destruction, melting ice and Arctic species, polar bears, walruses, and seals depend on ice for hunting and breeding. With rising temperatures, ice is melting, forcing these animals to travel further for food and reducing survival rates. Deforestation and wildfires. Increasing temperatures lead to wildfires, destroying forests where species like y'all know everything that's in the forest, birds, etc. Live. Coral bleaching and marine life. Warmer ocean temperatures cause coral reefs to bleach and die, affecting species like clownfish and sea turtles that rely on coral ecosystems. Food scarcity, starvation, changing seasons affecting food sources. Animals that depend on seasonal changes, such as birds, may migrate too early or too late, missing peak food availability. Decline in prey populations. Rising ocean temperatures reduce fish populations, impacting predators like penguins, dolphins, whales, and it's going to in fact impact the fish industry too. You know what I'm saying? Whoever, people that sell fish or seafood or whatever. Plant-based diet disruptions. Warmer temperatures causes early blooming of plants, which disrupts food chains for herbivores like deer and insects. Disrupted migration and breeding patterns. Bird migration changes. Many bird species like swallows, etc., rely on seasonal migration. Warmer weather confuses migration timing, leading to food shortages. Marine species shifting habitats. Fish, whales, and other sea creatures are moving toward colder waters, disrupting fishing industries and predator-prey relationships. So that's what I'm saying. It's going to disrupt, people that's making a living off of that. Shortened hibernation periods. Animals like bears and hedgehogs wake up earlier due to warmer winters, leading to food shortages. Increased diseases and parasites. Spread of invasive species. Warmer climates allow disease-carrying insects like mosquitoes to thrive in new areas, threatening animals with illnesses such as malaria. Weakened immune systems. Higher temperatures and pollution stress animal immune systems, making them more vulnerable to diseases. So this affects people, pets, and all of that too now. Pollution. Okay, let me get a little simple more. Pollution, decline, and extinction risk. Species struggling to adapt. Animals that cannot quickly adapt to changing conditions face extinction, such as amphibians that rely on stable moisture levels. Loss of biodiversity. The decline of the species disrupts entire ecosystems, affecting predators and prey alike. Conclusion: global warming is an existential threat to animal species worldwide. Protecting wildlife requires reducing green gas emissions, preserving natural habitats, and implementing conservation efforts. Exploring global warming through insightful literature can deepen our understanding of its complexities and the urgency of addressing climate change. Here are some notable books that offer diverse perspectives on this critical issue. One is called The Unthinkable Earth, Life After Warming. Dave Wallace presents a stark examination of the potential future impacts of climate change, emphasizing the urgency for immediate action. Penguin, that's on penguinrandomhouse.com, all one word, penguinrandomhouse.com. That's the article or the book or whatever have you. This changes everything. This is the next book. This changes everything. Capitalism versus the climate. Naomi Klein, 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 explores the conflict between free market capitalism and environmental preservation, arguing for systemic changes to combat climate change. That's on Goodreads. This next book is All We Can Save: Truth, Courage, and Solutions for the Climate Crisis, edited by Ayana Elizabeth Johnson and Catherine Wilkins. This anthology features essays, poetry, and art from women at the forefront of the climate movement, offering diverse solutions and inspiration. That's on penguinrandomhouse.com also, that book. This next book, let's see, The Great Warming. So you can get the audiobook or whatever have you. Climate Change, The Great Warming, Climate Change and the Rise and Fall of Civilizations. Brian Fagan delves into historical climate shifts and the impacts on ancient civilizations, producing context for current climate challenges. That's called The Great Warming. Okay, The Physics of Climate Change. Lawrence M. Krauss offers a detailed explanation of the scientific principles underlining climate change, making complex concepts accessible to readers with a scientific interest. Physics Stacked Exchange. That one's called The Physics of Climate Change. These selections provide comprehensive understanding of global warming from scientific, historical, and socio-political perspectives, encouraging informative discussions and actions toward a sustainable future. How global warming will affect the common person. Global warming is not just an environmental issue, it directly impacts everyday life through rising costs, health risks, and social disruptions. Here Here's how it could affect you and those around you. Increased cost of living, higher food prices, droughts, floods, and extreme weather damage crops, leading to food shortages and price spikes. Rising energy bills, rising energy bills, increased heat waves raise demand for air conditioning, making electricity more expensive. Water scarcity, droughts reduce fresh water supply, increasing the cost of clean water. Droughts reduce fresh water supply, increasing the cost of clean water. Health risk and disease spread, more heat-related illnesses. Extreme heat increases heat stroke, dehydration, and cardiovascular issues. So I would say, if right now, if you haven't been preparing for the summer, I need you to, if this is just a suggestion, start getting you some smoothies. If you just don't want to eat no fruit and veggies, just do some smoothies, start juicing, start drinking some alkaline water, or some type of spring water, or some type of naturally sourced water, and start hydrating your body, because when the heat starts smacking, it's going to be really smacking. And maybe put a little set aside for those summer AC bills, and start racking up on some fans now. You know what I mean? Go and get you some fans in the spot. You know what I mean? But air pollution and respiratory diseases, rising temperatures worsen air quality, increasing asthma and lung disease cases. Spread of infections. Warmer temperatures allow mosquitoes and ticks to spread diseases like malaria, dengue, dengue, dengue. So y'all will have to look that up. dengue. They say it spreads infections and diseases from the mosquitoes and ticks. Spread diseases like malaria, dengue, and Lyme disease to new areas. So if you're getting some new land and all of that, maybe get you some natural sprays, natural as possible sprays you can spray around for like the mosquito season, because the heat is coming. So start, like if you have land and stuff like that now, start kind of maybe planting different herbs that'll kind of combat different mosquitoes and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Different herbs, different plants, flowers, whatever. All right. More frequent natural disasters, hurricanes and flooding. Stronger storms can destroy homes and disrupt transportation. Wildfires, more frequent and intense fires threaten homes, forests, and air quality. Droughts and water shortages. Reduced rainfall leads to drinking water scarcity and agriculture losses. So we went over how it affects the animals, how it, as far as the political side, and now we're wrapping it up with how it affects, the everyday common person, whomever it is. It don't matter who it is. Job or economic uncertainty, loss of jobs in agriculture and fishing. Climate change disrupts farming and fishing industries, leading to job losses. Impact on tourism and real estate. Rising sea levels and extreme weather damage coastal resorts and properties, reducing property values. Higher insurance costs. As disasters increase, home and health insurance premiums rise. Forced migration and social disruptions. Displacement due to climate disasters. Millions may have to leave coastal cities and drought-stricken areas. increased conflict over resources. Water and food shortages can lead to political instability and economic struggles. Conclusion: global warming affects everyone, from increasing daily expenses to impacting health, jobs, and homes. Taking action through sustainable living, supporting clean energy policies, and disaster preparedness can help mitigate these effects. So it is a tax. If you do got a house, you may as well go ahead and just get a couple wind joints or whatever, you know what I mean, get the tax break for that or whatever, and check that out. Just research that. How to prepare for climate change. Since global warming is already affecting daily life, it's smart to prepare for its long-term impacts. Here are some practical steps to protect yourself, home, and your community. Financial and economic preparation. Save for emergencies. Save for emergencies. Extreme weather events can disrupt jobs and rise living costs. Aim for at least 3 to 6 months worth of savings. Aim for at least 3 to 6 months worth of savings. So we've gone over the political side. We've gone over how it affects the animals and the ecosystems, etc. We're going over how it affects the common person, and now we're going over readiness and preparation. Okay, and that was the saving for emergencies. That was very important. Saving for emergencies. Let me say this again. Saving for emergencies. Extreme weather events can disrupt jobs, and this is why mobile and remote jobs are a thing too now, rising too, and raise living costs. Aim for at least 3 to 6 months worth of savings. Diversify income sources. Consider side jobs or skills that are less vulnerable to climate-related disruptions, e.g., parentheses, remote work and tech skills, in parentheses. Invest in climate reliant housing. Invest in climate reliant housing. So if you are an investor, if you somebody that's going to pay a mortgage or rent or whatever, invest in climate resilient housing. You know what I'm saying? If possible, choose homes in low risk areas, parentheses, away from flood zones or wildlife prone regions. All right, so that's what you consider when you're looking for land, or you considering land or areas. The questions you may ask: is it in the flood zone, or you just maybe have to look that up yourself, etc. Okay. 2, home and energy adaptation. Improve home insulation. Reduces heat and cooling costs and energy use. Use renewable energy. Solar panels or wind energy can reduce dependence on fossil fuels and lower electric bills. So that's going to help you anyway. So I don't know why more people don't do the, solar panels or the wind energy joint, and it's just going to help you in the long run. All right. Flood and storm protection. Install storm shutters, elevate appliances, and keep emergency kits ready for flood-prone areas. Keep emergency kits ready for flood-prone areas. Health and safety measures. Stay hydrated and avoid overheating. Stay hydrated and avoid overheating. Keep cooling strategies in place, such as fans, shaded areas, and light clothing. Improve indoor air quality. Use air purifiers. I was going to say, yep, great job. Use air purifiers to protect against wildfire, smoke, and pollution. Yes, air purifiers and humidifiers. Get vaccinated for climate-related disease. That's on you if you do that. That's on your judgment. You know what I'm saying? As diseases like the Jew and Lyme spread, stay informed about vaccinations and preventatives. So natural herbs or whatever your thing is, you know what I mean? That's on you. That's your judgment. That's your judgment call. You know what I mean? That's when you use the word judgment. Well, let me get a little commercial break, y'all. Food and water security. Grow your own food. Let's say it again. Grow your own food. Grow your own food. Even a small garden can supplement your diet during supply disruptions. Tower gardens, hanging gardens, whatever. People say, well, I don't have no yard. I'm in an apartment. They have hanging gardens. They have tower gardens. They have all types of stuff. Ain't no excuses. And I was saying, do neighborhood gardens and all of that. We'll get into that we'll do a whole show presentation on that. I call them block gardens. But stockpile non-perishable food and water. Keep at least 2 weeks worth of supplies in case of disasters. Use water efficient appliances. Reduces reliance on municipal water supplies during droughts. Community and advocacy. Support local farmers and businesses. Reduce reliance on long-distance supply chains affected by climate disruptions. Get involved in local climate policy. Push for policies that improve infrastructure, disaster preparedness, and clean energy. Join community reliance groups. Networks that prepare for and respond to extreme weather events can be life-saving. Final thoughts. Prepare for climate change. Preparing for climate change isn't just about survival. It's about adapting to thriving in a changing world. Small actions today can make a big difference in protecting your future. All right, y'all. Peace and abundance. And we're going to set up for the next show. And guess what? Cosmic Mind UV.